From Monday, a radical change to London's roads as one of the largest pollution charging schemes in the world comes into force: the extended Ultra Low Emission Zone. This scaffolding company in Harefield in northwest London, while they welcome the scheme, in uncertain times they think it should be delayed.
What impact will it have on you?
It's going to cost us £2,500 a week. And on top of that, we're committed to £350,000 worth of expenditure on new vehicles and loss of value on existing vehicles that we're having to dispose of.
And that presumably gets passed on to the customer, does it?
Of course it does, yeah, it always gets passed on to the customer somehow.
The principle is the polluter pays. The original zone covered just central London. The expansion means it'll be 18 times larger.
If you own a diesel and it was made before September 2015, or a petrol car or vehicle and it was made before 2006, then you will have to pay £12.50 a day to drive in the zone. But the best thing to do is to go on the TfL website and check your reg plate and see if it meets the emission standards.
If you don't pay, you could get a £160 fine. 3.8 million people will live in the new zone. There are a few exemptions, like charity minibuses and cars registered as a disabled vehicle, although disability campaigners want all blue badge holders in London to be exempt.
Public transport is unfortunately inaccessible, so we believe this amounts to direct discrimination upon disabled blue badge holders in London, and with all the disproportionate impact, we believe it's totally unacceptable to be imposing these new, it's basically like a wheelchair tax upon disabled people.
The existing zone in central London has cut pollution. Ruth Fitzharris's son has been into hospital 12 times with breathing difficulties. She thinks the scheme should be covering the whole of London.
We were actually told on I think it was the third admission to hospital, to avoid trafficy areas, which in London is really, really difficult. And obviously the ULEZ is going to help reduce the traffic and the amount of kind of harmful pollutants that are in the air. So for him, I'm massively relieved, and for others like him, there are countless children, 1 in 10 in London, have asthma.
The Mayor isn't ruling out further measures in outer London for pollution hotspots. Cities across the world will be looking at what happens here closely. Tom Edwards, BBC London.